Howdy folks and welcome. I hope this finds you well. Today, we'll be talking about one of the most interesting sci-fi stories in gaming, and one of the best real-time strategy games ever created. Welcome to StarCraft. If you're new to the channel, it wouldn't be a Dog Dad video without hearing your memories and experiences with these games that I cover. I would love to hear your stories on StarCraft, and I know there are millions of them. Please leave a comment down below about your favorite part of StarCraft as a kid growing up, or if you play today. Like any retrospective on my channel, we'll be playing through the whole base game, excluding Brood War. That'll be for a different video. We'll be looking at StarCraft's themes, motifs, narrative, gameplay, design, and how Blizzard created a truly vivid and terrifying science fiction game. If that sounds good to you, I hope you're in a comfy place, have something to relax with, and let's get started. StarCraft started development in 1995 and debuted in 1996 at the Electronic Entertainment Expo. This was also the catalyst for Blizzard Entertainment's film division, which catapulted Blizzard in the gaming scene to masters of storytelling and technological know-how. StarCraft released on March 31st, 1998, on Windows and on Mac in 1999. There was another port in 2000, but we're not going to get to it today. The game soon became the best-selling PC game of the year, and even though support in North America was strong, a surprising number of South Koreans had purchased the game. Having over 1 million units sold in Korea by November of 1999, StarCraft's world sales had soared past 4 million units by 2001. South Korea accounted for 50% of these. Those PC bangs. It just wasn't the players either that were enjoying the game. Countless awards and high scores later, StarCraft was touted as a generational hit and living up to the hype that it generated in development. I always find it interesting to read the reviews of old games because it gives you a little insight into what reviewers were thinking at the time. The only real gripes with the game that I found was that the unit pathing was pretty bad, and sadly the remaster doesn't address that. I'll briefly touch on the multiplayer as well, before we get into the base game, because StarCraft's multiplayer was insane. I remember feeling logging into old Battle.net felt like I was hacking into Soviet computers in the 80s. I can still remember the fun that I had playing custom match games, some of my favorites being the tank defense or fast resources. Regular matches were always exhilarating but stressful. Matching up against anyone in the open ladder, you'd check people's profiles to see their win-loss ratios, and then quickly backing out when you saw that they had over 1,500 wins. Anyways, whatever you like to do, there was something there for you. But how does StarCraft hold up after all these years as a single-player game? Are the 3 campaigns as amazing as my nostalgia makes them out to be? Will the sound and design resonate like it did 20 plus years ago? Does the gameplay and mechanics still feel enjoyable? Those questions are answered and much, much more in this StarCraft Retrospective. So, being the remaster, I guess you get the Brood War opening, which to be honest is just incredible and sets the tone a lot quicker. The opening also shows off one of Blizzard's best traits in their visual storytelling, how they pull off scale. I love that you see these Marines that are metal on their own, and then just seeing this battle cruiser lighting up the trenches had my jaw dropping, even today. Disclaimer, I'm not giving props to this Blizzard, I'm giving props to the hardworking people that spent years dedicated to this fantastic piece of art. I hope by articulating how good Blizzard was, maybe there would be some hope in the future for this type of storytelling. Profits be damned. This ending is something I will remember always. From the music to the visuals, and just thinking to myself at 9 years old, I'm glad I wasn't there.
Stand here. You need to see this.
I know all about the Zerg, Gerard. We've all seen the tapes 100.
You've seen nothing. Dissecting a dead Zerg in a lab is one thing. Unleashing them on men is another. You must go into this with both eyes open. Once started, there's no going back.
To go all the way, my good Admiral.
Good. I knew I could count on you.
Admiral, the colonist base will be overrun in a matter of minutes. Shall we intervene?
Take us into orbit, Mr. Malmsteen. We've seen enough.
Oh, that music. Whoa. For menu music and the sound effects, this hits the nail on the head. I know I'm biased since I played this game more than I should have as a kid, but StarCraft just hits the sweet spot. We start off the game on Marasara colony. I'm glad to play this game as an adult because there is a story here. To be honest, the only thing I could understand back then was Raynor was good, Zerg bad, and the Protoss were super cool. And that's about it. I love that Raynor is just some cop in a barren wasteland. Considering where he goes from here, it's a space odyssey to say the least.
Howdy, boys. I'm Jim Raynor, Marshal of these parts.
Wow, that voice acting? But what did they do to his art style? I'm a fan of some of the reworked art styles, but Raynor's feels like a generic Marine number 101. You can switch back and forth between the old game and the remastered graphics, which was good on them for doing, and it works seamlessly. Some of the models look great, and some are like Raynor, and then you get the straight up bad, which is unfortunate because I feel like this was a great opportunity to expand the art style. After helping out a colony in need, we discovered this monstrosity.
Fire it up. You got it.
Anytime you're ready.
What the hell did they do to that command center?
Whatever it is, it ain't natural. Burn it, boys.
What a line. With that and the music, plus the intense gunfire with these beautifully animated sprites, I was grooving harder than I expected. Was this game still one of the best?
Transmission.
Marshal Raynor, by destroying a vital Confederate installation, you and your men have violated standing colonial law. As of right now, you're all under arrest. I suggest you throw down your weapons and come peaceably.
Are you out of your mind? If we hadn't burned that damn factory, this entire colony could have been overrun. Maybe if you hadn't taken your sweet time in getting here.
Now, I asked you nice the first time, boy. I didn't come here to talk with you. Now throw down them weapons.
Guess you wouldn't be a Confederate if you weren't a complete pain in the ass.
Oh, so it is that Confederacy. Like, the Confederacy. It's really interesting the politics around these events. Duke works for the Confederacy, which I guess is mad that we destroyed a command center. I'm assuming they didn't know it was filled with Zerg, since the next cutscene shows us that it's not too typical to see them out in the wastes.
What's that? Hold on a minute a second. Straight roller. Looks like you mashed some poor fella's dog, Sarge.
It's a Zergling, Lester. Smaller type of Zerg. They ain't about this far unless... Oh, shit.
I love you, Sarge.
I think these cutscenes did a great job not only of moving the story along and setting vivid smaller scenes in the grander scheme of the story, but bravo to these animations. If only Fallout 1 or 2 had this budget. Eek. So, we're outlaws at this point, and the whole world is getting overrun by Zerg. We might need a friend.
Avoid action against the Zerg. 3 stations have fallen to the Zerg already. We've been unable to locate any source of military relief except the extremist faction known as the Sons of Korhal. Their liaison is holding online.
Good day, Magistrate. My name is Arcturus Manx, and I represent the Sons of Korhal. You're familiar with the Confederate propaganda surrounding my group, but your reputation suggests you'll see past it. It's never been our practice to operate in any one place for long, but these Zerg don't look like they're going to wait.
Another thing I didn't get as a kid is that Minsk is a terrorist? Like legit fringe group terrorist.
Colony and evacuating any survivors. You know, of course, that my organization operates outside the bounds of Confederate law. That's why they spread their lies and misinformation. If you decide to accept our help, you'll be branded as an outlaw too. But it's a chance to save those people. Time to make a stand, Magistrate.
What a great actor, and it's kind of crazy who your friends can be. So we have to wait out 30 minutes before Menck's terrorist dropships get to us and the refugees off of this planet. That's one of the things that draws you in even 25 plus years later. This planet, no matter what you do, is about to get destroyed. And there are real people that want to survive, just like you or I would. I love those little details in the shop that sells Space Marine armor, or the abandoned shops near the minerals. I remember lots of parts, but this level is one of those iconic, I can't believe it's 30 minutes to bunker down sort of deals. For this playthrough, I knew I just had to upgrade my Marines, hunker down in the bunkers, and put on a podcast. Do bunkers up Marine range even with the Academy upgrade? I couldn't find anything, but it felt that way. Anyways, the Zerg assault goes into overdrive, and our less than ideal partners in crime show up.
Your tenure as Colonial Magistrate is suspended, pending an official investigation of your affiliation with the Sons of Korhal.
Well, I wasn't expecting a promotion. Mensk, after freeing Raynor, proposes that we infiltrate a Confederate science base. Story-wise, I love this type of espionage route, and the gameplay-wise, these levels, even though difficult, are a lot of fun, if you save a lot. We make our way through the labs and discover what looks like the Fallout FEV vats. We also find the plans and deliver them back to the base. We meet Kerrigan, who looks like a futuristic Sam Fisher. She tells us that another colony is ready for open revolt against the Confederacy, and we're here to stir up a little trouble to get that all going.
Sounds fun.
Captain Raynor, I finished scouting out the area and... You pig!
What? I haven't even said anything to you yet.
Yeah, but you were thinking it.
Oh, yeah. You're a telepath. Look, let's just get on with this, okay?
Oofta, as they say in Sweden. A bit weird on both sides trying to explain her psychic powers, but hey, it could have been worse. Playing as Kerrigan is so much fun, especially having the cloak ability. She is just such a badass. I love that switch when you take control of the command center. It's just cool to think about what's really happening. The revolution.
Be a pleasure. Thinking the same thing. I've taken care of business on this end, Commander.
After many attempts to land on the enemy side, we finally take the island. God, I lost so many Marines. I love this small cutscene. Seeing the battle cruiser falling is just iconic, and knowing it was a Confederate ship, all the better. Turns out the Confederacy is going crazy over these rebellions, plus an unruly Zerg. While talking, we pick up a signal from Duke, a Confederate military leader that was the one that crashed from the Zerg attack in the cutscene before. Mengsk is calculated, and getting a high-ranking Confederate on their side would be a great help. Really encountering the Zerg for the first time and seeing the creep and being shot by this green goo stuff, it all works so well. You have to take things slow, and I always researched upgrades, which made things so much nicer. There isn't a lot of RTS where I felt so much satisfaction as when I stimpack my Marines and destroy a whole line of workers. Anyways, we find Duke's ship and give him the ultimatum: die here or come join a terrorist organization. I shouldn't be surprised. I think humans in space will be more focused on surviving than ideological steadiness, but who knows. Obviously, people are not happy with us. Taking in Duke, we get some backstory about how ghosts are made, and to put it shortly, it's kind of like the Witcher trials. Turns out the Confederacy has developed some psi emitter that lures Zerg to it. Very odd R&D, but I'm not the treasurer. I like this line by Mengsk as well because he says the Confederacy made the Zerg probably to rile up support and vitriol towards them as an organization. But later on, we know that he's lying, right? I thought it was a nice touch, especially where he gets to later on, and he uses his own propaganda and lying to perpetuate his own evils and power grabbing. Alright, time to give the Confederacy a taste of their own medicine.
Just promise me we'll never do anything like this again.
We will do whatever it takes to save humanity. Our responsibility is too great to do any less.
Pretty messed up if you ask me, and if these tapes ever got out, oh boy, Nixon would look like a saint. We're going to use the psi emitter on the Confederacy, which Kerrigan agreeably thinks is atrocious. We're sorry, we won't do this again. I like these artwork slides. It was a neat little touch. So, the Zerg killed the Confederacy, and if there was any doubt, the Protoss ships destroys the whole planet. Duke is a quick turn and helps us identify a Confederate weakness on their home planet. I like how they teach you about the Terran buildings being able to fly and land, if you didn't know that already. This level was hard, and I almost ran out of resources. But in the end, oh, you gotta be kidding me. So, it is that Confederacy. What's the lore behind this? No wonder they're all messed up. I don't feel too bad now that we're destroying all their outposts and infrastructure, but Mengsk isn't any better. Now on the Confederate homeworld of Parsonus, Mengsk give orders that completely give me the crazy vibes, and Raynor agrees.
Direct course to the primary Zerg hive.
If they engage the Zerg, the Confederates may escape. Commander, send Lieutenant Kerrigan with the strike force to engage the Protoss. Captain Raynor and General Duke will stay behind with the command ship.
First you sell out every person on this world to the Zerg. Then you ask us to go up against the Protoss. And you're gonna send Kerrigan down there with no backup?
I have absolute confidence in Kerrigan's ability to hold off the Protoss.
This is bullshit. Kerrigan, are you reading this?
I heard. I'm going down there. Arcturus knows what he's doing. I can't back out on him now.
Funny. I never thought of you as anyone's martyr.
Kerrigan, literally having said she wouldn't do this again, does it again. She has this great speech to Raynor, and when hearing her side of the coin, I kind of agree with her. She's worked for Mengsk a long time, and goes by her strong psychic abilities. Sadly, after taking care of the Protoss forces and protecting the Zerg, this is how she's repaid.
We've neutralized the Protoss.
Base is under
Wave of
attack.
Zerg advancing on this position. We need immediate evac.
Belay that order.
just gonna leave her.
Base
All
is under
ships
attack.
prepare to move away from Tarsonis on my mark.
Boys? How about that evac?
Damn you, Arcturus. Don't do this.
It's done. Helmsman, signal the fleet and take us out of orbit. Now.
Base is under
Commander?
attack.
Jim? What the hell is going on up there?
This is such a strong visual and a strong moment in the game. Seeing this overwhelming Zerg forces, I couldn't help but say an expletive. Hearing Kerrigan's voice and knowing the events cannot be changed made me melancholy. They really do her dirty. Oh yeah, we get ourselves a fascist, genocidal maniac.
Not by you, or the Confederates, or the Protoss, or anyone. I will rule this sector, or see it burn to ashes around me. If you try to get
The fleet is prepped and ready, Commander. Awaiting orders.
The hell with him. We're gone.
It really is the sector he wants, though. Why do people like this exist? It's like seeing someone with an ice cream cone and getting angry that you don't have it, so you send Zerglings over to that kid and they murder him. Times that by 1 billion planets. That's Mengsk. Remember that cannon we disabled? Well, if we want to leave, we'll have to destroy it. This level made me realize that Defense Matrix, or whatever the spell that stops battle cruisers from doing anything, is the bane of my existence and had me truly raging at this game. This was a tough one, but getting past all the BS made the ending so much better. With the ion gun taken down, we get the hell out of Dodge, which allows Mengsk to change some things.
Fellow Terrans, I come to you in the wake of recent events to...
I can't believe ass is down minus 13 basis points in a time like this.
To issue a call to reason. Let no human deny the perils of our time. While we battle one another, divided by the petty strife of our common history, the tide of a greater conflict is turning against us, threatening to destroy all that we have accomplished. It is time for us as nations and as individuals to set aside our long-standing feuds and unite. The tides of an unwinnable war are upon us, and we must seek refuge upon higher ground lest we be swept away by the flood. The Confederacy is no more. Whatever semblance of unity and protection it once provided is a phantom, a memory. With our enemies left unchecked, who will you turn to for protection? The devastation wrought by the alien invaders is self-evident. We have seen our homes and communities destroyed by the calculated blows of the Protoss. We have seen firsthand our friends and loved ones consumed by the nightmarish Zerg. Unprecedented and unimaginable though they may be, these are the signs of our time. The time has come, my fellow Terrans, to rally to a new banner. In unity lies strength. Already many of the dissident factions have joined us. Out of the many, we shall forge an indivisible whole, capitulating only to a single throne. And from that throne, I shall watch over you.
This was a great cutscene, and a lot of things he says is true. Humans come together, the Zerg are scary, Protoss are more powerful, but Christ, he's gone full dictator. And with that, we start the Zerg Campaign. I enjoyed how they ended the Terran Campaign, and I remember there being more, but I guess it's through the other two campaigns that really the StarCraft story shines. The Zerg Campaign starts off strong. You are a creature of the Overmind, and they need you to build a spawning pool to see if you're up to snuff to lead their legions into battle. We're also against another familiar foe. Just joking. What are you doing here, Executrix?
Strategist and Overseer.
Thanks for stopping by. I love the backdrop for the Zerg missions, and their briefs. Everything about Zerg is just nastily awesome, except for the remaster's hatcheries. Good God, why did they make it like this? The Overmind claps in satisfaction seeing the decimation of the Terran forces, and we get the job. Yes, Ma, you wouldn't believe it. No, I didn't pick up the dry cleaning, but I did get the job with the Overmind. You know I'll be a good Cerebrit. Thanks, Mom. I'll bring you back a Protoss head. Overmind tells us we gotta warp out of here, and I won't even touch this. We get our cool Zerg special forces and accompany a young Chrysalis to the beacon. Cue Chrysalis.
Prepare yourself, Cerebrit. Your first jump through warp space could be unsettling.
Behold the power of that which is yet unborn. For the swirling images that flow forth from the chrysalis are only a shadow of the sleeper's true power.
We arrive at Char and send out a signal for some reason to alert our enemies, aka Mensk. We have to protect the chrysalis and kill off the humans, and whoa, I wonder what's in this chrysalis box? After wiping the Terran humans back, we get a great advertisement for visiting Char. Damn, Overmind, this place looks frickin' dreadful. Also, who would come here? Oh, she lures Jimmy in. Obviously, Kerrigan is starting her teenage phase early because the Cerebrits aren't too happy about another strike force of humans being so close, aka Raynor's group. We get access to the queens this level too, which honestly are pretty cool in certain instances, like putting a parasite on a dropship to see the whole level. I was kind of astonished I hadn't done this before. I had to switch to the old school for this.
Sarah, is that really you?
To an extent. I'm far more than I once was, Jim. You shouldn't have come here.
But the dreams. I dreamed you were still alive, that somehow you were calling to me.
I was. While I was in the chrysalis, I instinctively reached out to you and Arcturus telepathically. Apparently, Arcturus sent Duke here to reclaim me. But that was then, Jim. I'm one of the Zerg now, and I like what I am. You can't imagine how this feels.
So, what? Are you gonna kill me now, darling?
That is certainly within my power. But you're not a threat to me, Jim. Be smart. Leave here now and never seek to confront the Zerg again.
Doesn't look like I have much choice.
Yo, Raynor, I've known people like this before. You better leave early than never at all. Anyways, Kerrigan is now out and about and wants dominion over all life. We're in her good favor since we quote-unquote looked out for her, so I'm guessing I'm switching division. Kerrigan now wants to know all about what the heck happened to her as a kid with the ghost trials, which the other Cerebrits aren't happy about. Zaz, and I think there's a deli named that near me, is furious that the Overmind is even considering letting Kerrigan go. For an all-seeing being like the Overmind, he is weirdly okay with just letting Kerrigan be free. Like, how do you not foresee she will gain her own path? Maybe he knew. We'll get there. We oblige Kerrigan and follow her into the science lab. God damn, Kerrigan is such a freaking badass. Another beautiful little detail is how special units' damage are always so much better than the base units. It just makes their unique sprite and effect so much more meaningful. I cannot tell you how cool whipping people with Kerrigan's wings or whatever she uses are, and seeing the new animation for Terran deaths was kind of staggering. What happened to Warcraft 3 Remastered? Why did they bungle that so badly? Anyways, we storm through the facility, laying waste to any stupid human. My Cerebrit brain is just going haywire. I'm glad she remembers how to use a computer, though. I always loved this cutscene back in the day and never realized that this was the science vessel we had just annihilated, and this was supposed to be a demo mission? I know I wasn't the smartest kid, but kind of funny how Kerrigan leaves some of her elite hunters just waiting for this to happen. I don't care how she knew, but I'll let you enjoy this ode to Alien.
Hey, are we really gonna blow this place?
Only if we see a Zerg.
Yeah, I got your Zerg right here.
We get back to Kerrigan trying out different lines about herself to a new threat, the Protoss. I like how Tassadar just disses her over and over again. It's interesting because he does really underestimate Kerrigan's power.
Since last we met.
Mayhap, O Queen. Or is it only that I need not flaunt my power in such an infantile test of will?
Foolish Templar, prepare your defenses. I will come for you soon.
So the main Zerg forces warp their way to the Protoss homeworld. I swear I wasn't going to touch it, and Kerrigan is stuck on Char. The Overmind is sputtering some stuff about the greatest beings of creation and wants us to get some rock crystal that probably will get his membrane buzzing. After letting a drone harvest this gigantic crystal for what felt like an hour, we get back to the boys and celebrate.
You have done well, my Seraphit. The Protoss can do nothing but flee before the onslaught of the swarm. But now you must assault one final site before our conquest is assured. Behold, there is a temple not far from here that lies upon ground most hallowed. Though I have borne witness to the passing of countless millennia, the temple which you must assault is only by far. For it was constructed by my creators, the Zelnaga, and it marks the site where the Zelnaga first set foot upon Aiur. The temple must be cleared, and the Terran crystal set in its place. Only then shall the way be made ready, for it is upon that ground alone that I may be manifest.
We get the old knowledge and learn about the Zelnaga, the originer race, which you get to learn about more in StarCraft 2. Honestly, I forgot they were this heavily mentioned by the Overmind, which is kind of interesting that Blizzard had a ton of lore on hand for this game. We destroyed the temple and bring that large crystal over. Honestly, playing Zerg is so much fun, and upgrading your Zerglings so they go fast and have +3 attack kind of is a sensory soothing action for me. I do not know why. So, what I'm inferring from the Overmind speech is that the Zelnaga are like the starter race that made the Zerg and Protoss but not the Terran, and that the Overmind wants to combine Zerg and Protoss to make a superior race. Oh Jesus, space Nazis. I guess the temple spot that we cleared out was also the spot for the Overmind wanted to plant himself in. Where did he even come from? If you know any of this, please leave a comment. So, crazy seeing this world just burning, and oh god, it's so disturbing. They did such an amazing job with these cinematics. And that's the Zerg campaign. And I instantly went to the Protoss one. So obviously things are bad on Protoss front, homeworld and chaos, not a lot of people left, and some weird sect of religion that practices quote-unquote dark magic or what have you. Why does it always have to be dark? Why not red magic? Anyways, it really messes with you since you are the commander causing all of what you're about to clean up in the Protoss campaign. And that's okay, because Protoss are awesome. I'm slightly biased. I did play Protoss both on StarCraft 1 and 2, and there was just something about them that I love. Maybe it was the voice lines, maybe it was the ability to construct buildings without a worker present, or maybe it was just the carriers. Whatever reason, the Protoss campaign is a lot of fun. We start out with meeting Phoenix and defend Antioch, while meeting Tassadar as well, a seemingly rogue Templar that doesn't like to get talked down to. He pretty much explains everything we already know in a huge exposition dump. I didn't say this game was perfect. After getting access to the rovers, which if you've ever had these goddarn things in your mineral lines, you know what hell feels like. Unfortunately, Tassadar is wrong about taking down the Cerebrate, because nothing changes. It doesn't help that the council just thinks this is some betrayal, so he disappears while we're tasked with defending Scion while Phoenix stays in Antioch. Obviously, the Zerg never would have gone after Phoenix with us there, so seeing this cutscene after decimating the Zerg on our end was sad to say the least.
Executor, Antioch is under attack by overwhelming Zerg forces.
Praetor, you must hold your position for as long as possible. Fight on, brave Phoenix, and know that the gods watch over you. Entaro Adun.
Did we not pay our power bill? Phoenix is slain, supposedly, and we're told to find Tassadar on Char. Oh boy, it looks like a tavern here.
Aldaris, Executor, how is it that you've come here? I was about to abandon all hope of rescue.
I have come to arrest you and bring you home to Aya to stand trial.
Arrest me? Ire burns at the touch of the Zerg. You travel all this way to arrest me?
Don't let it get to you, man. This happened to me once.
Who is this human, Tassadar?
The name's Jim Raynor, pal. And I won't be talked down to by anybody. Not even a Protoss.
Tassadar and Raynor are surrounded by Zerg and are told about Zeratul, a Dark Templar that might have the ability to change the tide of war. After saving Jimmy and Tassie, we get told off, and honestly, I wouldn't employ myself at this point. We're a wild cannon and have no true allegiance. Tassadar does admit that his advice on the Cerebrate was not wise, but also acts like the Protoss were supposed to know that we should have used some sort of specific dark energy. It was a weird writing moment for me. We get this cutscene, which I guess just shows how freaking cool the Protoss are, and how they are the best out of the three factions. No bias, no bias.
Fire!
Oh yeah, yeah! Feel that hot love right up your tailpipe!
Tassadar, I guess, infiltrates this Terran base, which somehow imprisoned this Dark Templar. How did the Terran do this? Am I missing something? We get to Zeratul, and we pretty much get on our hands and knees trying to get him to lend himself to the cause. What a cool line.
Since our banishment long ago, we have never failed in our responsibility to Io. Though it shall cause us great pain to see your homeland once more. We shall return with you, Tassadar. We will do what we can.
We get back to Ire and see an old friend. Phoenix is back as a Dragoon, which, oh boy, can we talk for a second about the unit design in this game? StarCraft blows this out of the water. I mean, every faction has their own distinct feeling and look, Beyond that, each of these units is so vital to a successful mission. I love deep sci-fi, and knowing that Dragoons are just fallen zealots and hearing that voice line, it still sends a shiver down my spine.
I have returned. Receiving.
Now with our Dark Templar friends, we're tasked with destroying the evil Council Conclave, whatever you want to call them. Tassadar pulls a martyr-type play and gives himself up in the end, which is nice and all, but we just bust him out and he goes, "I thought you would do that." Well, why did you give yourself up then? We just killed the same amount of people.
You will learn that the will of the Conclave is absolute. Make peace with Adun.
Stay thy hand, adjudicator. The stewards of Tassadar shall not fall while the Dark Templar live. Call off your guards and stand aside. You may yet learn to see the unwise.
I will not be addressed so by one so devoid of the Kala's light. You and your vile brethren shall die with these traitors.
Are you truly so blinded by your vaunted religion that you cannot see the fall ahead of you? You speak of knowledge, Judicator. You speak of experience. I have journeyed through the darkness between the most distant stars. I have beheld the births of negative sounds and borne witness to the entropy of entire realities. Unto my experience, Balderus, all that you have built here on Ioran is but a fleeting dream. A dream from which your precious conclave shall awaken, finding themselves drowned in a greater nightmare.
Yeah, this speech is really neat. How do you not love this type of stuff? Now was our chance to take out the Cerebrits so that the Overmind would be open to the attack. We hatched the plan and executed. There is some story stuff, but it's the same knowledge that we learned as Zerg. Using the cloaking unit and microing around all the overlords was fantastic and really made you play a different type of game. I think the campaign actually does a decent job of preparing you for online, if only for knowing the units and mechanics pretty well. But nothing can prepare you for your first Zergling rush. With the Cerebrits taken care of, we get our final mission in the base game and the destruction of the Overmind. This was kind of a wild mission in the fact that you get to play both Terran and Protoss together, having technically over 400 units on the field at the same time, which is bonkers in StarCraft terms. I enjoyed this final level so much, but it did feel kind of sit back and relax once you've established your bases. I did like I was able to create my aircraft farm, and I thought it was fitting to end the campaign like this.
Collision course with the Overmind. If I can channel enough of the Dark Templar's energy through the hull of the Gantrathor, I should be able to bring swift death to the accursed abomination. Remember us, Executor. Remember what was done here today. May Adun watch over you.
Damn, dude, these Protoss guys love to sacrifice themselves. We get this epic cutscene and then... What? I guess he pretty much just charred. Get it? Charred? Okay, I need to stop writing this script. He killed, like, almost all of the Protoss in the process of taking down the Overmind. I don't know if it was all worth it, especially with Kerrigan now numero uno on the Swarm list to take the job. Honestly, this is such a great setup, and I eagerly anticipate playing Brood War, not only to continue the story, but also enjoying the fantastic gameplay StarCraft still has to offer after 25 years. I'm so happy that this game still holds up in every facet possible, and that the remaster is truly what remasters should be, par some horrible picture frame animations. Sorry, whoever worked on that, it's just my opinion. If you never have played StarCraft, play this game. If you have, but it's been a while, play this game. There are still people playing online, and even getting custom matches with AI or your friends is enjoyable. With hours of fun battles ahead, I cannot recommend this game enough. Blizzard's music for almost all of the 90s and 2000s games holds up so well and really had me jamming out. The story doesn't feel generic, even if there is some interesting choices at times with the writing, but overall the story with the lens of being an adult was well done and directed. I enjoyed all the small details that the game developers incorporated, from the special units dealing more damage than their counterparts, to the storytelling with scripted events in the game. Whatever it was, there was always something for the player to be doing. You never wanted to or could step away from your computer for too long, dare your resources get too high, your buildings get destroyed, or your precious workers get annihilated. I say StarCraft holds up because no matter what the graphics are in the remaster, the game itself is the same. From the amazing feelings to the bad pathing, it's all StarCraft, which is a great thing. I don't know if you've watched a certain YouTube short about a former Blizzard dev talking about how they made more money off of a WoW item than StarCraft. This makes me sad because not only did this person and countless others work on such a great game, but the disappointment in their voice when saying this stat made me horribly melancholy. These old games have meaning to us all, right? You wouldn't be here if they didn't, so what's changed? Why has this art seemingly been taken out of gaming now? Is it truly the profit margins and the arena of gaming as of today? I truly hope these big publishers like EA and Blizzard remember their roots, have enough money and funds to pay for these titles, and get a team that truly cares about making good stories and games. Hearing about the Dead Space remake getting canned had me thinking this will not go over well, but one can only hope. Anyways, thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to watch the video. It truly means the world to me. If you haven't already, please leave that comment about your favorite memory of StarCraft, click that like button if you liked the video, and subscribe if you haven't already. If you really enjoyed the video, check out my channel. There is something there for everyone. And as always, see you next time.
Boys, how about that evac?
Damn you, Arcturus. Don't do this.
It's done. Helmsman, signal the fleet and take us out of orbit. Now.
Base is under attack.